where machines interact like people and bodies can be rebuilt from scratch. How will we wage war, fuel our need for power, commute to space? What technological leaps will most change the world in the next 50 years?
Capturing the power of the sun, invisible soldiers, elevators to space.
See how scientists today are making visions of tomorrow real. Physicist and futurist Michio Kaku will be your guide. The future is closer than you think.
It all starts now with the world.
Harnessing solar energy is still considered too expensive, too inefficient to be a serious source of power. So why are scientists and oil companies spending millions of dollars investing in solar technology? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because sunlight is clean, it's safe, and oh yeah, it's also limitless. Now, get your head around this fact. Every second of every day, the sun produces billions of times more energy than is consumed by the entire planet. The trick is catching it.
Van Malkelberg and other researchers have created the holy grail of solar power. Substances that absorb light across the entire spectrum. Combined in a single solar cell, they would be nearly 5 times more efficient than today's solar panels.
In the fairy tale Jack and the Beanstalk, a young boy climbs a beanstalk into the sky and reaches the clouds. Now, the 21st century version of this is called the space elevator. And oh yeah, it is physically possible. Now, amazing developments in nanotechnology may mean that in 50 years, a Sunday picnic in outer space may not be a fantasy.
The idea of a space elevator is not new. But Edwards is the first to work out a practical design. A ribbon will extend 62,000 miles into space. A counterweight at the end will keep it taut through centrifugal force. An elevator car will climb 250 miles to a space station. By 2057, the trip could take just half an hour. It sounds crazy, but Edwards is already working out the nuts and bolts. He plans to anchor the ribbon on a former oil rig platform in the ocean. To minimize weather hazards, he's analyzed lightning data and found a quiet spot in the Pacific with few thunderstorms or hurricanes. And to lift the space elevator, a ground-based laser will beam high-intensity light at solar panels on the elevator.
After the last oil crisis, the United States needed an energy insurance policy. So it created the Strategic Oil Reserve, consisting of hundreds of millions of barrels of oil, enough to run the entire country for 60 days. Great. But what happens when the world's usable oil supply completely runs out sometime in the next 50 years? What then? That's why researchers are focusing on solar power. Other researchers go farther. They want to create their own sun.
Sunlight starts with a bang. When 2 hydrogen atoms collide, they fuse to create a helium atom and release intense energy. The process is called nuclear fusion. If we could recreate that reaction, we'd never have to drill for another barrel of oil. But creating fusion is not easy.
Die Schwierigkeit, das Fusionsfeuer auf die Erde zu
The difficulty of reproducing fusion on Earth is like trying to light wet matches. It's a very complicated task. But we've made real progress in the last couple of decades.
At Germany's Max Planck Institute, scientists are using microwaves, electricity, and high-particle beams to generate cosmic heat inside a test reactor. The chamber would incinerate, if not for a magnetic field that keeps superheated atoms from hitting the walls. Under enormous pressure and at temperatures over 100 million degrees, the hydrogen atoms are fusing in a superheated gas. A single gram of it would set free the same amount of energy as 11 tons of coal.